have no idea if that video worked or not. It seems like StreamYard's messing up at the back end again. Let me know in chat whether or not you can actually see and hear me. Would be great. I'm pretty sure I'm not muted. But let's face it, we know what happens. In any event, g'day. How we doing, people? Welcome to today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter. Oh, yeah, there we go. Now I've got my own voice in my ear, so that's fine. Yeah, look, pretty light on Aussie news this morning, not going to lie. Everything is either voice-related, New South Wales budget-related. I think there was something about some kids that went missing over the weekend that have yet to be found. So, yeah. But, of course, the good old US of A comes in swinging with Florida Man and some really other weird freaking stuff. So, was it? Had to refresh to get chat working? Okay. All right, fair enough. But in the news today, we have a Buffalo Bills fan found naked after falling down a hole at Highmark Stadium. Fury over breast-revealing Oktoberfest costumes. That's right, Oktoberfest itself is under attack, and you'll never guess where from. That's right, I'm going clickbaity, people. A squirrel has been blamed for weekend power outages in Missoula, and a Florida man has set fire to a car belonging to his ex-girlfriend, who also just happens to be his cousin, according to police. And finally, does 3D printed salmon taste like the real thing? Some shoppers in Vienna are about to get a taste, and let us all know. All that and more today in today's episode of Law, News, and Laughter, along with some actual news. But let's face it, I gotta get a hook so that you guys actually stick around. I'm aiming for retention today, guys, so let's do this, shall we? Welcome to Law, News, and Laughter. Yes, I said salmon. Salmon. Why? What did you hear? Actually, don't answer that. I don't want to know. Okay, let's get started and stuck into it, shall we? Because we have a fair amount of ground to cover. I will just start off the show by saying, odds are there will not be a show tomorrow. If I can make it onto Jeff's stream tonight for about an hour between 11 p.m. and 12 my time, I will do so. But if I've got the opportunity to pre-record something, all the better, but more likely than not, there will not be a show tomorrow, just letting you all know in advance, because I do have to get up quite early so that I can head off to my regional office. Speaking of Oktoberfest, I saw an ad the other day for purchasing authentic lederhosen. Yeah, because apparently that's part of what the issue is that the outfits are not authentic. And apparently the Germans are not happy. But let's get stuck into, let's start with the F-35 that everybody's talking about, because apparently the plane's just that damn good at disappearing. No, I don't want to edit my name. I want to share the Crews start to recover the debris of an F-35 fighter jet worth about $100 million as investigators probe the mishap that forced the pilot to eject. I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing much in the way of debris here. Just seeing a whole bunch of trees down, but I don't know. Maybe because it's stealth, it's invisible. Or maybe it's just that it's in a million little pieces. I don't know. After an F-35 jet disappeared into the South Carolina sky, officials have found its debris field and launched an investigation into the mishap that forced its pilot to eject. I'm sorry, I have a sharp pain in my shoulder. I have no idea what the hell that's about. According to the US Marine Corps and a defense official with knowledge of the search, the pilot ejected on Sunday near Charleston and was taken to a local medical facility in a stable condition, said at Joint Base Charleston. But the fighter jet itself went missing. Yeah, because it was on autopilot and it continued to stay in the air for however long. I'm really hoping this thing has a black box. I want to know what the hell happened. Lizzo ate the jet. Jesus Christ. The jet's debris field, about 2 hours northeast of Joint Base Charleston, was discovered on Monday after an extensive and multi-agency search from both the ground and the air. Oh, Stingy with a super chat there. Thank you very much. Not mocking, Terry was a wild legal case. No, dude, it's fine. Relax, okay? I get it. It was funny. The Chinese got to it first. Don't die on camera. I'm not going to die on camera. I'm going to move the camera slightly, though. There we go. Okay. Makes life easier. The F-35B Lightning II jet is described as the most lethal and survivable and connected fighter jet in the world by Lockheed Martin. Yeah, and the allegations are that it's a little too connected, because there's certain people out there saying, oh, this shit was hacked. Well, we'll find out. Or rather, the government will find out and never actually tell anybody, because why the hell would you broadcast that to the world? Very much doubt it had a black box. Okay. The jet costs about $100 million, said Russell Gamare? Spokesperson for the F-35 Joint Program Office. The entire F-35 program is on track to cost $1.7 trillion over the lifetime of the plane. It's not clear what prompted the pilot to eject on Sunday. The mishap is currently under investigation, and we are unable to provide additional details to preserve the integrity of the investigative process, the Marines said in a statement on Monday. Before the debris field was found, the military made the unusual plea to the public to help find the missing F-35 jet, saying its last known position was near Lake Moultrie and at Lake Marion, northwest of the city of Charleston. Community members are now being asked to stay away from the fighter jet's remains, while recovery crews work to secure the debris field in Williamsburg County. We're transferring incident command of this to the US Marine Corps this evening as they begin the recovery process, said Joint Base Charleston on Twitter, formerly known as X. You won't know what happened. DOD will release a BS statement and that's it. Yeah, that's fully what I expect. Yeah, the pilot literally said, fuck this shit, I'm out. What's that? Marty's saying code was inserted into the US military ground network. Looks like an inside job, but could be Russia. Either that, or it's a false flag to make it look like it's Russia. To drag the US further into certain conflicts. Marine Corps pauses flight operations. It isn't the first notable incident involving military aircraft in recent weeks. The Marine Corps ordered a 2-day pause in flight operations on Monday, citing Class A aviation mishaps over the past 6 weeks. This stand down is being taken to ensure the service is maintaining operational standardization of combat-ready aircraft with well-prepared pilots and crews, said the Marine Corps in a news release. While the Marine Corps statement didn't detail the 2 other mishaps, there were 2 aviation incidents that happened in August. A pilot was killed on August 24 when a Marine Corps FA-18 Hornet combat jet crashed near San Diego. The cause of the accident remains under investigation. Days later, a Marine Corps MV-22B Osprey crashed during a military exercise in Australia, killing 3 Marines at... Killing? Okay, so they did not survive the injuries. That's interesting, because I and some other content creators sat down and we were discussing that a little while ago. That particular area where that Osprey went down, I see no reason why they should have been there. It's a small enough island that you're not really going to be doing military training there. Sounded very sus to me, to be perfectly honest, and all of a sudden the 3 individuals have passed away. Interesting. Leaving 5 others in a serious condition. That crash also remains under investigation. Though there is no indication of any connection between the crashes, all of the incidences are classified as Class A mishaps by the Marine Corps, defined as an incident that leads to a fatality or more than $2.5 million in property damage. Slow down, you hamster, and read clearly. Fuck you, Stingy. Still saying West Taiwan since the weather balloon traveled over that base. Okay. There's a reason the Marines call Ospreys flying coffins. Dangerous as fudge. High-ranking officials are not provided to fly in them. Really? Okay. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, it's not a good day when $100 million aircraft goes off on its own, and I'm curious to know exactly what happened here. Not that I think we will ever actually know, because why would they tell us? Why would you admit, A, that the thing was hacked, or B, that there was a massive malfunction with it? I mean, I did see what you sent me, Stingy. And whilst the David Attenborough thing was funny, I don't know if it's appropriate for stream. Is that my phone? I don't think that's my phone. No, that's not my phone. Okay. Alright, moving on. fury over breast-revealing Oktoberfest costumes. Bavarian prince says excessively low-cut plastic folk outfits from China that show women's cleavage are an insult and cultural appropriation. Dude. The Prince of Bavaria has called Chinese-made outfits cultural appropriation. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you there. But beer and hot chicks? Are you seriously telling me? Fake folk costumes that left festival goers to flaunt their body are degrading the culture of Oktoberfest, a Bavarian prince has claimed. The 72-year-old, there you go, Prince of Bavaria, Luitpold Heinrich, whose great-grandfather was the last Bavarian king, said the cheaply made costumes turned the historic event into a carnival. When I see Chinese-made folk costumes made of plastic, pseudo-costumes with tight dirndls, then the whole thing becomes a carnival, he said to a local radio station. Yes, this wasn't just an excuse to show off these ladies' lederhosen. We all talk about cultural appropriation today, and it's happening to us Bavarians, he added. If the whole thing is just about wearing a costume to get drunk in, you lose a lot of the culture and tradition in the process. Okie dokie. Gents are often seen in lederhosen while ladies don drundles, a traditional skirt that consists of a low necklined bodice, a blouse, and high-waisted skirt. Traditionalists have argued that in recent years, Oktoberfest, which has been held in Munich for 213 years, has become less of a celebration of Bavarian culture and more a chance for people to drink huge quantities of beer and wear low-cut and cheap fancy dress. Welcome to modern society. But this year's festival isn't only facing a reckoning about dresses. Traditionalists are worried that Oktoberfest will turn into Woke-Wiesen, a play on the local name for the festival after a major tent decided to serve all organic chicken that costs 50 cents more than normal. The Bavarians are worried about woke culture causing an increase in the cost of chicken. Wow, I went through so many accents then I have no idea where I even started or finished. One Oktoberfest regular, Andrea Corner, told the Wall Street Journal that while she usually orders a hen, she paled when she saw the price of one organic half hen at €20.50 or £17.70. We don't know the taste because it costs too much to try, said the 56-year-old. But a younger guest told the newspaper he didn't care about the price increase. I'm sure you don't. Damn. That's got to be the prince. Can I just... Okay, look at this guy. This guy is 76 years old. This is what a lifetime of celebrating alcohol has done to him. He looks fantastic for his age. You and Joe should stream together doing accents, guaranteed to make ears bleed. Beer. Lots of beer. Oh, it's 5 minutes long. I can't bring myself to watch a 5-minute long video on stream. Jake Williams, 32, said, I don't care at all. I guess it is good if people care about the chickens. The major food price hike comes as beer served in nearly all the tents in the festival increased by 6% to an average of €14.50. Wait, what? $14.50 for a beer? Okay. This is on top of the marked rise in food prices after Russia invaded Ukraine last February. I was going to say last Friday then. The first ever Oktoberfest began as a celebration of the wedding of Prince Regent Ludwig of Bavaria, the later King Ludwig I, and Princess Therese of Saxony-Hildburghausen in 1810. The festivities for the wedding, which took place almost exactly 213 years ago, saw Bavarian citizens celebrate with an enormous horse race. The region's population liked the race so much that they decided to do another one every year after that, with the festival evolving to include fairground rides, attractions in the years to come. Hashtag free to boobies. As someone who loathes the taste of beer and the effect it has on people, this looks like hell on earth. Oh, what? Wow. Wow. Hang on. Yesterday, can I just say, as a kid, I was taught something very, very simple and very straightforward, and that a lot of people don't know these days, and would make the world a fuck ton of a better place. If you don't have anything nice to say, keep your fucking trap shut. The comment was unnecessary and unneeded. Why the hell would you read through that entire article just to go, yeah, I don't like beer, fuck them all? Like, seriously, Jesus Christ, grow a pair. So, but anyway. Hunter. Of course, there's always something in the news about him. Hunter Biden will plead not guilty to the gun and false statement charges, according to his lawyers. How? How the fuck do you not plead? Remember 213 years ago at the first October test, the tops were plenty low cut and the women were strong and beautiful and could bear many children, says Upon the Horizon over on Rumble. So, don't have anything, the beers are about the size of pitchers. Huh. Boobs and beer, better than the fucking old guy? Yeah. First son, Hunter Biden, will enter a plea of not guilty to charges of lying about being addicted to crack cocaine when he bought a gun in 2018, his lawyer revealed in a court filing on Tuesday. I'm fucking conflicted on this, because shall not be infringed, but lying on a form. And it is the law. And it would be very fucking hypocritical of me if I didn't lampoon him for lying on a form when, you know, we all know that I am very still pissed off about a certain blonde dipshit lying on a form and bringing dogs into Australia. So for me, it's, you know, I'm backed into a corner here. The 53-year-old's attorney, Abe Lowell, made the disclosure in a letter requesting that U.S. Magistrate Judge Christopher Burke waive the requirement that Hunter appear in person for his arraignment. It pisses me the fuck off that they have to delineate that a magistrate is a judge. Like, I've noticed that in every article that I've read where it's a magistrate judge. Here, most people just know that a magistrate is a judge or a form of judge. It worries me that they have to dumb that down for the lowest common denominator. No matter whether in person or in virtual, he will waive reading of the indictment, which is merely a few pages and could easily be read at a video conference. Mr. Biden will also enter a plea of not guilty, and there is no reason why he cannot utter those two words by video conference. Lowell said that the first son would oppose a logistical burden to officials coordinating an in-person appearance at federal court in Wilmington, Delaware, along with various financial costs borne by the U.S. Secret Service and the United States Marshal Service. Interesting that they're trying to say that Hunter would be a logistical nightmare when, I don't know, it's required for... I mean, it was required for a certain other person to appear in person for his arraignment and for his, shall we say, what do they call it? Arrest? Wish that was the worst thing that they dumbed down. If Trump has to go in person, then Hunter should too. I was trying to tiptoe around that. Oh, wait, that means I lied on my 4473's caffeine. Coffee has caffeine. Caffeine's classified as a drug. There's a bit of a difference, though, between, like, caffeine and crack cocaine. So, it's required for everybody else, exactly. Without getting into specifics, numerous agents and vehicles are required for what would have to be a 2-day event. This includes agents and vehicles in California and Delaware, as well as agents who must travel with him on the plane. Why? Like, I understand why Joe has to have Secret Service guarding him the entire time. Like, I get why, but at the same time, he's nowhere near as important, is what I'm trying to say. Screw his pride mugshot it. Damn straight, I want to see the mugshot. Calling the president's family first anything implies the rest of us are beneath them. That's sort of the issue that I have with it, Gypsy Soul. I'm not even sure that he should have quite so much of a Secret Service presence. Video conference hearings also became commonplace during the bug and remain an effective alternative, he added. Efficient alternative. Expressing he found it puzzling that federal prosecutors opposed it. On September 14, federal prosecutors indicted the first son on 3 counts of making a false statement about his drug use on a purchase form for a Colt Cobra revolver in October 2018. False statement for the purchase, false statement related to the information required to be kept by the federal firearms license dealer, possession of a firearm by a person who is an unlawful user or addicted to a controlled substance. Hunter Biden had admitted in his 2021 memoir, Beautiful Things, to having used narcotics during that time period. The federal charges carry a maximum sentence of 25 years in prison. Oh, please. He gets anything, Daddy's going to pardon his ass. Are you kidding me? He's never going to see a day inside that slammer. He could also face additional charges in Washington, D.C. and L.A. after IRS whistleblowers alleged the Justice Department blocked them from fully investigating potential evidence of tax fraud and illegal foreign lobbying. In one explosive disclosure, IRS Supervisory Agent Gary Shapley and the IRS Special Agent Joseph Ziegler revealed that Hunter threatened a Chinese business associate in a July 30, 2017 WhatsApp message that he was sitting next to his father and would forever hold a grudge if a deal involving a $5.1 million payout to Biden associates was not realized. Why? Fuck you, New York Post. I did not need to see that this morning. Lying on a 4473 is no joke unless you're a Biden. Yeah, well, apparently. The Secret Service is to keep him from losing more laptops and ensuring he has a crack supply. IRS investigators also said prosecutors in the office of the Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss prevented them from pursuing lines of inquiry that may have implicated President Biden and tipped off Hunter about a planned search of his storage unit and a personal interview. I'm sorry, what now? The Delaware U.S. Attorney is providing inappropriate assistance to the first son and blocking people from investigating the president? Right. As I said 3 years ago, Hunter will catch a charge, and that's how we'll get rid of Biden for 2024. It'll be Kamala and Gavin. I'm still not sure about that. I don't know if Newsom's got the balls for it, honestly. But anyway, he's going to get a slap on the wrist. The whole situation should be investigated when Biden's no longer in office, so he can actually be prosecuted without a pardon. AP, as long as there was a Democrat in power, I fully expect that he'll receive a pardon, whether it's Biden or not. Shapley further alleges that Weiss told him and other IRS and FBI officials during the October 22 meeting that he had denied special counsel authority or the ability to charge the first son outside of Delaware. I'm going to quickly scroll because I don't want to see his ass again. There we go. Several of those officials have since testified to Congress that they do not recall Weiss making those claims. A Trump appointee, Weiss, who was recommended to be Delaware's top prosecutor by the state's Democratic senators, only announced the initial charge against the first son after the IRS whistleblowers went public with their allegations of a cover-up. Attorney General Merrick Garland, who, under sworn testimony to Congress, said Weiss had the authority to charge Hunter Biden, elevated the Delaware U.S. Attorney to special counsel status on August 11 to continue the probe. House Republicans have since launched an impeachment inquiry over Biden's alleged involvement in his son's business dealings, claiming they have no confidence in Weiss's ability to carry out a thorough investigation. No shit, I wonder why. It'll be Big Mike in 2024. I'm seeing more and more rumblings about that, and I'm like, Once again, another scruffed choice by Trump, unfortunately. Hunter's last appearance in court ended with a decision by his legal team to walk away from a plea deal that would have slapped him with 2 years of probation for failing to pay taxes on more than $2 million of foreign income from entities including China and the Ukraine, among others. His gun offense would also have been expunged had he completed that probation. During the July 26 hearing, Delaware U.S. District Judge Mary Eleanor Noriega pressed federal prosecutors to say whether a provision in the diversion agreement for Hunter's gun charge granted immunity from past crimes. The first son may have broken other federal laws not included in the June 20 indictment as part of his business venture overseas, including potential violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. According to Tuesday's filing, his lawyer, Hunter was processed and had his fingerprints and photograph taken at the Wilmington courthouse after his plea deal blew up. In a previous order signed by Noriega, Hunter also agreed to conditions of release, including appearing for all court dates, remaining sober, submitting to drug testing, seeking employment, and informing the court of his travel plans. Yeah, Your Honor, I'm going to disappear onto the other side of the planet for 2 months. Bye! Lowell said in the most recent filing that Hunter had scrupulously complied with his conditions since returning home to California. Why do so many politicians look like ventriloquist dummies? Because generally they've got someone's hand up their ass making them talk. That's generally why they look like it. So. Okay. Slight trigger warning on this one, so I'm going to play the thing. But can you guess why this LA serial killer has been charged with killing a cellmate in Kern County Prison? I'll give you 10 seconds. Tell me in chat what you think this guy has been charged with, because he killed someone else. Fuck it. A Los Angeles serial killer who earlier this year was accused of killing his cellmate at a federal prison in Kern County has been formally charged with murder, prosecutors said. Ramon Alberto Escobar, 52, is scheduled for arraignment on Thursday on charges of first-degree murder and assault likely to produce great bodily harm by a prisoner serving a life term. Escobar shared a cell at North Kern State Prison with Juan Villanueva, who was serving a life sentence for aggravated sexual assault of a child under 14 years, according to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. The 53-year-old was found unresponsive in his cell on February 24, and prosecutors alleged that he was strangled. Escobar was already serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole for a series of brutal murders that took place across 2 states. He admitted to killing his aunt and uncle in Texas before fleeing to California. In 2018, he bludgeoned 5 people to death with a baseball bat and injured several others. The attacks occurred in LA and Santa Monica areas, with many of the victims being homeless. The El Salvador native had a long criminal history prior to the killing spree, including 6 felony convictions for burglary and illegal re-entry. Illegal re-entry, okay. And he was deported from the country on 6 occasions, the authorities said. So there's that. Where are we? A squirrel has been blamed for weekend power outages in the Missoula area. Northwest Energy reports that a squirrel is being blamed for the weekend power outages. Utility workers found a squirrel in one of the company's substations. The outages impacted about 14,500 customers, and crews restored power in approximately 45 minutes. Show me the squirrel!
A live look at Missoula, where we now know the cause of weekend power outages. Northwestern Energy tells us a squirrel is to blame. Utility workers found a squirrel in one of the company's substations. The outages impacted about 14,500 customers. Crews restored power in roughly 45 minutes.
Seriously? Okay.
Time magazine.
Wait, what? Okay, apparently they're... oh, wait, no, I know that name. A Tesla road rage guy who terrorized SoCal had a violent past. The Tesla road rage guy, Nathaniel Rademack, literally terrorized Southern California freeways in late 22 and early 23 before he was arrested in February. Road rage is one thing, but this guy was something else. While his reasons for the attack appear to be random, the LA Times shows that he had a history of violence that might explain his random outbursts. For weeks, no one had any idea who this guy was. The only thing people knew about him was that he drove a black Tesla and that he would attack cars with a pipe. His attacks were swift and left people, mostly women, shaken. In June, he threatened a 74-year-old woman outside a doctor's office in Glendale, and then in November, he threatened a woman at a storage facility in Atwater Village. The same day, they alleged that he got out of his Tesla and threatened a woman on a freeway and broke one of her headlights. On January 11, prosecutors say he struck another vehicle with a pipe on the 2 freeway near York Boulevard, an incident caught on dashcam video. He's also accused of following a car from Pasadena Mall later that day, nearly hitting into the vehicle and striking it with a metal pole. His road rage started a few years earlier in 2020, when he was found to be connected to a road rage incident in Hollywood. When police searched his car, they found $30,000 in cash and steroids! He faced battery and drug distribution charges from that incident, and an ex-girlfriend he dated. That's slightly redundant. Who spoke with the Times painted a picture of a man prone to violent and terrible outbursts. She described how he hit her repeatedly and had threatened to kill her and her family. The time they had together was hell. During one of his outbursts, he threatened her with a baseball bat while beating on the outside of her house. Jesus Christ. And no one had a gun. Whoa, wait, it's California? Yeah. Another incident involved him swinging another bat at her face when she tried to talk to him. Once when she told him to leave, she says that he threw a milk crate and a bucket of water at her. Maybe he just wanted to... No, you know what? I'm not going on there. This guy's clearly a piece of shit. He doesn't deserve a joke. Nope, I want that in 1080. Thank you. The woman's aunt even stepped in to try and get him to leave. He threatened the aunt and the family and tried to choke and punch her. Steroids, call me surprised. Heard the Alaskan Avenger is getting out. Have you heard anything or can you explain? Hang on, give me a second and we'll find out, shall we? Pardon the typing. Okay, there's a interesting. Okay, so there's a petition on change.org to get him released. I can't see anything new though. There's nothing that's tools, time, for the past year. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything, unfortunately. So that may be one out there that it just, you know. The Alaskan Avenger, was he friends with Tony Stark? No, apparently he beat and robbed a number of twisted fuckers. So. Okay. That just derailed me, but anyway. That's good. I'm happy to look up and read on him because that sounds interesting. All right, moving on. Columbus cops blame an 11-year-old girl for being groomed in a viral video, prompting a probe. Thin blue line, my ass. 2 Ohio cops are being investigated for their response to a sexual misconduct case involving a child after a video of them appearing to blame the 11-year-old for creating child porn went viral. 2 Columbia police officers, a male and a female, were seen talking to the girl's father on the front porch 6 hours after he allegedly called to report that a man online had manipulated his daughter into sending him pictures of herself, the doorbell camera footage shows. The dad tells officers that he called because he wanted them to talk to his daughter, who said she was now sleeping, to get her to realize what this was, before conceding that he knew the reality was there probably wasn't much he could do. The female officer is heard telling the dad his preteen daughter could probably get charged with child porn if she produced the images. Who? She can. She's 11 years old, he responded, to which the officers replied, she's creating it, right? She's 11 years old. Doesn't matter, she's still making porn, the female officer curtly replies. Oh, we're watching this footage. No, she's being manipulated by a grown adult on the internet, the father counters before the officer cuts him off. She's taking the pictures, though. You guys have a nice evening, he says as he heads back into the house. Thank you for coming. It's unclear when the troubling incident took place, but the social media poster wrote on TikTok on Monday that the officers showed up at their doorstep at midnight, 6 hours after the concerned dad called for help. The Columbus division of the police confirmed Monday that the 2 responding officers seen in the viral exchanges were from its force. The department says it's investigating the video shared online involving the 2 officers responding to the call. Columbus division of police acknowledges a video being shared on social media involving 2 officers responding to a call for service. The Department of the Inspector General, which investigates complaints of misconduct or excessive use of force by sworn personnel, has opened an inquiry into the incident. The Division of Police regards all allegations of sexual misconduct with utmost seriousness. Incidents involving minors are handled with a high degree of concern. Sexual assault unit detectives were immediately notified of the incident and have initiated an investigation. The Columbus Department of the Inspector General, which investigates complaints, has opened up. Yeah, just rereading that. Where the fuck's this footage?
Reality is not much you guys probably can do about it, is there?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can? Mm-hmm. She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. He's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
Is
internet.
she taking pictures of?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you for coming. Are you serious? Have a nice evening.
Wow, he is significantly more relaxed than I would have been in that situation. Wait, what's that? Utility worker Clem Candy Hopper commented that the squirrel was cooked well done and particularly delicious with horseradish. No, I gotta.
Reality is not much to
I hate that it covers over this thing because I'm trying to read. He manipulated her into sending pictures of herself. This was the police's response at midnight. We called it 6.
like boo about it, isn't it?
I mean, she could probably get charged with child porn.
Who, she can?
Mhm.
She's 11 years old.
She's creating it, right?
She's 11 years old.
Doesn't matter. He's still making porn.
No, she's not. She's being manipulated by a grown-ass adult on the
Is she
internet.
taking pictures though?
You guys have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, that no, fuck that shit. Are you out of your fucking mind? Telling a parent who has just found out that their child has been manipulated into sending someone a picture of their underage naked body that they could be charged with child pornography offenses, potentially be listed on a sexual offender register for the rest of their life. That's your response to that? I'm so angry I'm actually spitting here. Jesus Christ. There's supposed to be some level of decorum and sensitivity. This poor girl is going through something that she should never have to experience, and you're blaming her like that. Jesus.
Are you serious? Have a nice evening.
I mean, is it time to ask for a supervisor and not be a complete asshole? Oh, fuck off. You really gonna start? Look, amateur iconoclast, I'm gonna make something very, very clear. I know I don't rant well. Okay? I'm acutely aware. I also know that it's not really something that, like, I am unable to release my emotions to that level because I've worked for so many years to clamp down on it, because I used to drop shit in court, okay? I can't, yeah, look. You know, have fun with it. Just have fun with it, okay? And it was a 4.7, okay. The Columbus police need to get some serious reprimand because they asked nothing about the child predator manipulating his daughter. What absolute crap. Yeah. Can you charge a child with those charges since she's a child? That's the other thing, okay? I mean, the words coming out of her mouth, not only are they completely fucking ridiculous, but they're not necessarily even correct. Now, I would need to actually look at whether or not the... is this Columbus, Ohio should be? Yes, Ohio. I would need to check what the age of innocence is there. Generally, it's 10 to 13 years, depending on state, depending on country. I would think in this circumstance, if a prosecutor tried to prosecute an 11-year-old girl for producing a photo of her own body that she was manipulated into by an adult on the other side of an internet connection, I would hope the judge would throw something at them. You used to be very angry koala. Yeah, unfortunately. No, this is not okay. Not by any stretch of the truth is this okay. And the fact that he was so fucking calm just walking away. The whole, you have a good evening as well. Sadly, the cops are both right and wrong here. The 11-year-old can be charged, but should not be. The proper thing to do is for the police officer to fucking investigate where the images were sent to. Mm-hmm. That's when the dad hunts down the guy and disposes of the... Also, Zelensky is addressing the UN nations, telling the world how terrible we are. I'm sorry, what? No, I'm not saying that a prosecutor would never. I'm saying that they should never. I can think of at least a handful of prosecutors that probably would. Which is disturbing as shit. Oh shit, there's 95 people watching. Hello, peeps. Well, I mean, look, I'm just going to take this opportunity to say, like and subscribe, peeps. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I've seen the, I'm sitting in, I got to stop, but I do let the analytics get to me quite a bit. I sit and I watch the graph, like, constantly, and I know I shouldn't. over the last few days, I've gained so many subscribers, but then YouTube, of course, is removing it. And frankly, what I would like YouTube to do at this point is just rip the Band-Aid off, rather than doing like little slices here or there. Just get rid of the drive-by subs. If you're not happy with them being on my channel, YouTube, just get rid of them in one go, okay? Because it's fucking irritating. And it's like death by 1,000 cuts to me, and it does not help my mental health. Ignore the graph. The the analytics aren't real. Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, so, but anyway, major tangent there. But, yeah, just hit the like on the video, people, just so we can keep the channel alive, basically. So, anyway, moving on. There was very little in terms of, watch the graphs on Twitch too, it's fascinating. Just found you not long ago, been about sub for a week, you're doing a great job. Oh, thank you, Aunt Mimi, I appreciate that. There was very little in terms of Aussie news this morning, so we're going to talk about bikinis. Just because it was almost nothing else. The unwritten rules of wearing swimwear in public have been revealed, apparently. Despite living in a country famed for its breathtaking beaches and sweltering weather, the vast majority of Australians have strong views on swimwear etiquette, according to new data. While you may not think twice about nipping to Coles or Woolies in your bikini, or Speedo for the matter. Who am I, Tony Abbott? I'm not wearing a Speedo down the street. It seems there are unwritten rules about how far you can stray from the beach before you're opening yourself up to intense judgment from others. Fuck right off. If it's a hot day and I've been to the beach, I don't care. You judgmental pricks. Youth charges weren't meant to be used this way. It's a way to stop revenge porn from being circulated by teens and unsolicited dick pics. Yep. Don't talk bad about the tube. They might take away your monetization and subscribers. They're already taking away the subs. I just wish they'd hurry up and get it over and done with and, like, just stop fucking with my head. A staggering 73% of Aussies believe that those wearing an itty-bitty two-piece or an iconic budgie smuggler shouldn't wander far from the beach. Exactly what distance from the sand proves unacceptable caused quite a divide amongst participants, but those who waste no time judging other people's outfit choices have been split into 3 categories. Underboob. The hardest cosy critics amongst us are made up of 24% of the vote, stating you can only strip down to your togs if you're on the sand. What the What? Where did these prudes come from? The harshest got that. A further 30% argued it wasn't offensive to cross the road to buy an ice cream or a cold drink, but stipulated you need to go straight back to your beach towel, otherwise you've crossed a social line. While 19% said it was fine to go for a stroll in your bikini, but the furthest you could wander was a block from the beach. Thankfully, not everyone had fierce views on the unspoken rules of swimwear wearing, with the remaining 27% of Aussies arguing people should be able to wear their togs anywhere they like. Damn well straight. What, are you fucking kidding me? I guarantee these are the Karens that don't want to be looking at other people's bodies because they feel self-conscious and jealous. There, I said it. I said it. Interestingly, the demographic of those who gave the green light to flash the flesh were made up of 32% men, 19% women, and 49% of those who identified as non-binary or other. I wonder if they were just taking the piss. Women had the highest votes in the 3 categories that restricted bikini wearing outside of a beach setting, notably leading the charge on, if you're on the sand, it's with some clothes, please. If you're off the sand, on with some clothes, please. That could be because it's the women who are more commonly face criticism over their outfit choices, while men don't cop the same flack. Pentagon officials are worried that Biden may pose a national security risk given his apparent dementia. I'm sorry, what now? Thanks for the shout out, Aussie. You're welcome, Liz. A woman in the UK was once kicked out of a store for wearing a bikini underneath a sarong. Amidst her fury at being given the boot, she called out the double standards created by patriarchal practices. I don't think this is patriarchy in the slightest. Dudes are not going to care if women are wearing bikinis to go shopping. I mean, look at Walmart. Chicks go there in all sorts of stuff. Get a grip. Men walk around in vests showing just as much skin, she stated at the time. In a 2019 photo of a bikini-clad woman at a servo while on holiday in Bali was taken by a horrified Australian, shared on Facebook along with the caption, "Shame on you, P.S. the front parts were even smaller than the back." If they have the self-confidence to be wearing that around, that's on them. Not you, Karen. Fuck right off. Free the boobies. Lol, I was just thinking Walmart. Many label the decision to wear G-string cozies as trashy and feral, while others accuse the poster of being creepy and shaming the woman by taking the photo and sharing it without her permission. Exactly. So, I'm not sure if that's the one from... Is that the one from... Oh, yeah, that's the one from Bali. Okay, so that's the photo she took. Like, if you're on holiday and you're comfortable in what you're comfortable in, who the fuck cares? It's no one else's business. In Bali, where bikinis are optional, yeah, not so much. No way the dementia-plagued old man is a security risk. Wow. If Lizzo's wearing a bikini, I would want that covered regardless of if it's a beach or not. I mean, look, let's face it. She's going to be on her own private beach anyway, so yeah. Where are we? I want to add that so that I can update that with some audio. All right, now this one is a little bit rough. Parents, I'm telling you to gird your loins. Two women arrested for drunkenly tossing a baby around like a toy at a Daytona Beach bar. Two women were arrested for drunkenly tossing a baby back and forth like a toy at a bar in Daytona Beach, potentially breaking his arm, according to Daytona Beach police. Sierra Newell, 20, and Brianna LaFoe, 19, were arrested and charged with child abuse, with the later facing an additional battery charge, according to an arrest affidavit. The incident happened shortly after midnight on Thursday at Coyote Ugly Saloon on Seabreeze Boulevard. Police responded to reports of two women throwing a baby in the air, flipping him upside down, throwing him back and forth from about 4 feet apart. Newell was on crutches at the time of the incident and allegedly threatened to hit bystanders. Just taking a punt on this one. I think it's the one on the right that is the 20-year-old. I feel like the other one's the younger one. Maybe that's just because she's blonde. Maybe it's because she's dumb enough to have done that to her hair. I don't know. I just get that feeling. A witness who was recording the incident was approached by LaFoe, who tried to hit her. That's when LaFoe allegedly flipped the baby upside down and grabbed him by the ankles. She was also approached by the witness with Newell's crutches and attempted to strike her a second time. When police watched the video recorded by the witness, they said they saw Newell sitting on the ground while LaFoe was standing up aggressively swinging the baby up and down, the affidavit states. LaFoe allegedly held the baby upside down, and shook him by the ankles over hard concrete. She also actually and intentionally struck the woman who was initiating the recording on the right arm with an open hand. Sean Knapp, the manager of Crazy John's recreational cannabis, a store next to where the incident happened, is a manager. The store security camera captured much of the incident. Knapp wasn't present at the time, but said he found the footage disturbing. It really breaks your heart to see a little one go through something like that. He told Fox 35 he's glad the situation didn't turn out much worse. He believes it would have had the bystanders not stepped in to help the child. That's what we all need in communities, right? We need people to watch out for each other, no matter what the age. Wait, what? Sent you a video on your tweet about your clinic visit. It's about Zelensky threatening the West by saying he didn't know how refugee Ukrainians would react in their host countries abandoning Ukraine. Classy. Police added that both Newell and LaFoe are under 21, but were drunk at the bar. The woman who was threatened by LaFoe was uninjured. The baby was transferred to a local hospital for medical treatment and has since been released. He suffered red marks on his back, and there was a mark on his x-ray that could have indicated a broken arm. The redacted affidavit did not reveal who the baby belonged to, but Newell's mother was on the scene during the incident, and the Department of Children and Families is conducting a background check to see if she can take custody of the child. I'm not going to rant and rave. That's just fucked up. Oh, I love that they're, like, blurring out their asses, too. What the fuck? Oh, is it because they have tattoos that would make them, like, discernible to people?
Two women arrested accused of tossing around a child like a toy, possibly breaking his arm. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Luann Serrao.
And I'm John Brown. The whole thing happened on Thursday in Daytona Beach, right there along Seabreeze.
No. The mum wasn't on the scene. One of the girls' mums was on the scene. Presumably, she was part of the reason why they were allowed to drink. Not that should be the case, but anyway.
Boulevard. And it didn't take long for things to get out of control.
You shouldn't have been filming my baby.
Oh, yeah, so it is her baby. Wait, and the kid's been released? Back to her? Fan-fucking-tastic job there, CPS. Congratulations. Well done. Just making sure that the kid slips through the cracks. Hopefully the grandmother will be able to take custody. Hopefully she does a better job of raising it than she did with this one. Because, holy shit, someone's going to wind up a baby mama all behind bars, probably within the next 6 to 8 months.
This video shows the women threatening bystanders who are filming it. And at one point, one of the women throws the child again. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay is live in Daytona Beach this evening. So, Chris, police say that child that was thrown back and forth while two women stood about 4 feet apart.
Yes, there was a group of people sitting right here who say they saw the two women throwing the child back and forth and swinging him around aggressively. When they spoke out, the women weren't too fond of that. This camera caught most of the exchange.
Quit filming my baby.
A chaotic evening in Daytona Beach ended with two women in jail for child abuse.
You see me, baby. Quit.
The surveillance camera at Crazy John's caught most of the incident. 19-year-old Brianna LaFoe is seen in this footage swinging a baby.
Called it! The blonde's the 19-year-old!
Up and down.
It really breaks your heart to see a little one go through something like that.
Sean Knapp works at Crazy John's. Witnesses say LaFoe threw the kid up in the air before she
Wait.
dangled him by his leg.
Hang on.
Like that.
Sean Knapp works at Crazy John's. Witnesses say LaFoe threw the kid up.
She was too busy taking a swing at someone that was recording her to look for the head on her baby, who she has smacked into a fucking fence. Are you fucking kidding me, you piece of shit white trash bitch? Jesus Christ!
Up in the air before she dangled him by his leg and shook him. Knapp tells me he was glad to see the witnesses step in.
And that's what we need in all communities, right? We need people to all watch out for each other, no matter what age.
According to police, LaFoe was under the influence, as was 20-year-old Sierra Newell, the woman who was with her. She was also arrested.
I should fucking well hope so.
It's an ongoing investigation, and the Department of Children and Families is involved.
It's unfortunate, again, that this happened, period, to this family. I don't know their circumstances, but you hope that everybody gets the help they need from this.
The child was checked out at the hospital. He had red marks on his back and his arm may be broken. They're likely going to run some more tests. Reporting live in Daytona Beach.
Fucking white trash. That's all that pair are. Alright, I need something a little bit better to... Come on, there's got to be something funny here. I had all these lined up and they're all in order, but now I just need something to sort of calm my... Really? Really? We got to talk about furries? Okay. Hundreds of people who identify as dogs gather in a city center. Someone yells, "Call animal control." They've got a bone to pick. A pack of dog-identifying humans has prompted calls for animal control after footage of their Berlin meetup, of course it was Berlin, went viral. An estimated 1,000 people who prefer to be recognized as non-humans but canines organized a gathering in the Berlin Potsdamer Platz railroad station in Germany, communicating only by howling or barking at one another. Well, if they're gone rabid, maybe we can put them down. Online critics jeered at the trans species folk, some offering to put the herd's canine instincts to the test. Just abandon them in the Siberian tundra and let them survive with their canine instincts. I don't see anyone smelling the tail of the others. Oh, I'm sure there was plenty of that shit going around. Call animal control and get them their rabies doses. Can you imagine when they all have to defecate? But if they identify as dogs, why do they put on masks? Damn good question. The unorthodox canine convention follows the viral sensation of Taco the human collie. No. Don't you pull Taco into that. Taco's funny. And I've reached out to Taco because I want to have him on the show. These do not lump him in the same category as these people. That is not the same thing. A man located in Japan who was fulfilling his lifelong dream of becoming a pooch after purchasing a $14,000 hyper-realistic suit. In a previous interview with the Post, he revealed that he hoped to meet others with canine aspirations. I think there would be something great if something like this existed. Who has been dubbed a Therian. I would like to meet them. Experts have called for the differentiation between Therians, people who identify as a creature other than themselves, and furries. Yeah, because for the most part, these people to me... Oh, Taco's very committed. He really is. Reminds me to say, spay and neuter your pets. For example, some Therians, short for Therianthrope, might believe that they are a cat soul reincarnated into a human body. Aren't we dealing with enough at the moment? Now we need this shit. Dr. Elizabeth Fine, an associate professor of psychology at Donetsk University in Pittsburgh, told the Post, some furries are Therians, some Therians are furries, but they are two distinct groups. Other internet famous human hound hybrid... fuck off. Hound-human hybrids include Tom Peters, a Brit who previously identified as a Dalmatian, and Toru Adua, a Tokyo engineer who spent $23,000 on a custom wolf suit. When I wear my costume, I feel like I'm no longer human, said Ueda32 previously to the UK Times. I'm free of human relationships, all kinds of trouble related to work and other things. I can forget all about them. But animal-like behavior has been fetishized as a BDSM kink known as puppy play, where participants, usually men, are equipped with muzzles, collars, and leashes and behave like a dog. Some OnlyFans models have become mutts by raking in big bucks, finding that the canine behavior is especially lucrative. Right. In 2020, adult content creator Jenna Phillips revealed she ranked in $10,000 per month just for acting like a pooch, collar and all. It's insane, she said at the time. I never thought my weird dog kink would be looked at by a broad audience, or that so many people would like/care about it. It blows my mind. Yeah, because I'm sure that's the only thing that's getting blown on an OnlyFans page. Okay, what are the comments? Future of this world is getting grimmer by the day. The good guy upstairs really needs to hit the game over button already. We have become nothing but a disappointment. Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, look, generally I wouldn't have an issue with this if they kept it in the bedroom. But, you know, it's just... Anyway. Fuck, I gotta play this again. Anti-child trafficking activist portrayed by Jim Caviezel in The Sound of Freedom publicly denies sexual misconduct claims by 7 women, and the Mormon says scandal is breaking his family apart. I'm particularly shocked that somehow sexual misconduct claims are being made against an individual who was portrayed in a movie about saving children from child trafficking. Why on earth would they try and drag him down with that particular claim? The anti-slavery activist whose story was turned into the hit film Sound of Freedom has angrily denied sexually exploiting 7 women and taking advantage of a Mormon elder. Tim Ballard, a Utah-born former CIA agent who founded the non-profit organization Operation Underground Railroad in 2013, is accused by women of pressuring them while on mission to rescue children. He did not address the sexual misconduct allegations in detail, but declared it was all untrue and spoke passionately to deny the church's allegations. It's not true. Nothing you hear is true. Something evil is going on. I don't know what yet, he said, claiming it was a plot against him, and questioning whether the Mormon church has really issued the statement. The statement was given to Vice News, which has since this summer been reporting on Ballard being forced out of the charity that he founded. On Monday, the website alleged that he pushed the women into sharing a bed with him or showering together, telling them it was to convince traffickers that they were married. Sources told Vice News that Ballard, who resigned from Our in June, sent at least one woman a photo of himself in underwear covered in fake tattoos. Okay, call me stupid, but if you're going undercover, that could... Maybe he was just showing off the amazingness of the tattoos. I'm not necessarily seeing anything untoward there. Just learned that he's a glowy, never knew that? Yeah, well. What else are the child abusers going to accuse him of? Well, that's sort of where my mind has gone. That's really where my mind is at, is that it seems like, I mean, and I'm not going to lie, that's kind of where I'm leaning with the whole Russell Brand thing, but I'm also not going to be talking about that today because I feel like every man and his dog is talking about Brand, and I just don't care. I just don't. Until it goes to court, until there's actual evidence on trial, I don't care about the trial by media. I think it's bullshit that YouTube's demonetized him. I think it's bullshit that BBC's dropping him. I think it's bullshit that everything else is happening. So, Vice News, yeah, that legit journalism. Yeah. Fake tattoos like the ones you get in Cracker Jacks? No, I'd say these are probably significantly more detailed and, like, resilient. The married father of 9 allegedly asked another woman how far she's willing to go to save children. Okay, in the context, that could be either an inspiring statement or it could be something to say, oh, we need to pretend to be having sex so that we can save children. Like, there's a big fucking scale of where that particular sentence would be appropriate. Over the weekend, the Mormon Church, of which Ballard is a part, issued a rare rebuke condemning in a statement activity regarded as morally unacceptable. They did not specify what they meant. The letter from the Church of Latter-day Saints also accused Ballard of using the name of their president, Mr. Russell Ballard, who is no relation. President Ballard and Tim Ballard, no relation, established a friendship a number of years ago, the statement said. That friendship was built on a shared interest in looking after God's children, wherever they are and without regard to their circumstance. However, that relationship is in the past. For many months, President Ballard has had no contact with the founder of the Operation Underground Railroad. The nature of the relationship was always in support of vulnerable children being abused, trafficked, and otherwise neglected. Once it became clear that Tim Ballard had betrayed their friendship through the unauthorized use of President Ballard's name for Tim Ballard's personal advantage and other activity regarded as morally unacceptable, President Ballard withdrew his association. President Ballard never authorized the use of his name or the name of the church to be used for Tim's personal or financial interests. In addition, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints never endorsed, supported, or represented the Operation Underground Railroad, Tim Ballard, or any projects associated with them. Way to, like, try and cover your own ass and make sure that people don't come after you. That's what this reeks of to me. Because Mormons are the authority on morality. Well, the attack started with random people that donated to the movies, and when that caught traction and didn't take the movie down, they decided to go after Tim. That is what it sounds like. Tim Ballard on Monday angrily denied the church's allegation that he'd abused the president's name, saying that it was ruining his life. President Ballard is like a grandfather to me. He came to me in 2011, 2012, and he told me that he appreciates all the things I'm doing and wants to help me. I've never used Elder Ballard's name ever. I've never treaded on his name to ask for anything. I've never traded. That's not treated. Traded. And I've never had any business dealings with him. What business deal? All the press in Utah is saying some church representative is saying this. This is breaking down my family like you can't believe. My children are being harassed right now. That is never okay in any situation. It's never okay for the kids to get involved in that. Because everyone believes the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which I've defended for how many years, and no one can tell me. He said that he did not believe the statement given to Vice making allegations of influence peddling were true. Do you think the church would make a statement to Vice? Vice magazine has done anti-Mormon stories like you wouldn't believe. Vice magazine has done more hit pieces on the Church of Latter-day Saints than any other. He also questioned why no church officials had been able to confirm the veracity of the statement. Can you imagine the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints would publicly condemn one of its members without talking to the bishop, the stake president? I've never traded on the name for anything. I've never had any business dealings with him. Ballard has been approached by Daily Mail for comment. A letter from the Underground Railroad sent to donors this summer reads, "It is ultimately revealed through disturbingly specific and parallel accounts that Tim has been deceitfully and extensively grooming and manipulating women for the past few years with the ultimate intent of coercing them to participate in sexual acts with him under the premise of going where it takes and doing whatever it takes to save a child." I believe Ballard before I'll ever believe Vice News. Mm-hmm. Have your furry spayed and neutered to fight overpopulation. In the film of his work, Ballard is played by Jim Caviezel, the staunchly Catholic star of Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ, who is known for promoting QAnon conspiracy theories. Yeah, there's no way in hell this is a hit piece. His wife, Catherine, is played by Mira Sorvino. Ballard is shown working to rescue young girls from a Colombian sex trafficking ring in a plot loosely based on his own exploits, but which Ballard freely admits has been embellished. Sound of Freedom's themes have struck a chord in particular with conservatives, including mainstream Republicans interested in education and other children's issues, and evangelicals who have responded to the movie's religious overtones. It also resonated with far-right QAnon believers who have for years spread alarmist fears of child endangerment, such as the idea that a child sex trafficking ring was being run out of a Washington, D.C. pizza parlor, which involved Hillary Clinton and other senior Democrats. Oh shit, I'd like to clarify, I am not suicidal, my brakes are working just fine. The movie was shunned by big studios and released independently, going on to become one of the most successful independent films in history. Released on July 4, it was supported by Donald Trump, who has held a screening at his Bedminster Golf Club, and spoke to Ballard for his podcast. Yet on June 22, Operation Underground Railroad severed ties with Ballard without explanation. A letter from Our sent to donors was obtained by was obtained by journalist Lynn Kenneth Packer. He read the letter in an episode of his podcast. Several weeks ago, an Our employee who accompanied Tim on an undercover operation filed a sexual harassment complaint against him with Our's HR department. This resulted in an extensive internal investigation into Tim and his individual operational tactics and led to more women speaking up as part of the investigation process. Have I checked for gas leaks? That's a good point. How's an actor's view in any way relevant to the accusations? It's not really. Lamar cut to Hayden's Clinton side. I'm not sure I'm going anywhere today, so... Wait, shit, I don't need people knowing that. I'm going to be traveling extensively, by foot. Wearing Kevlar. Where are we? The letter said that the board and lawyers had made agreements preventing executives from discussing the circumstances of his exit from the organization. They said the agreement had made it virtually impossible for them to defend the organization against Tim's false narratives. The drama comes as Ballard said he is seriously considering a run for the US Senate. Ballard, that'll never happen. There's too many powerful people that won't want him there. Yeah, timing. Exactly. He's just announced his intention to run for the Senate. Cough, cough. And an unmanned F-35 crashes into Hayden's house. Ballard told Sean Spicer on the Sean Spicer Show this week that the video first obtained by DailyMail.com that he was asked several weeks ago to look at running for the seat by very influential people. Romney 76 sent shockwaves through Congress with a surprise announcement on Thursday that he would not be running for a second term. He also fired up parting shot at the disarray in the Republican Party and said Biden and Trump, like himself, were too old to serve in office. At the end of another term, I'll be in my mid-80s, and frankly, it's time for a new generation of leaders. When Ballard was approached to run for the seat, even before Romney publicly announced his Senate departure, he said, I'm very seriously considering it. And now that Romney has announced he's stepping down, Ballard said it will be easier for himself to potentially stage a run for the seat. He said he will enter the race after prayerfully considering the position and if wife Catherine supports the decision. The former agent currently lives in Utah with his wife and their 9 children, 2 of whom they adopted from Haiti. He said, based on his work, there has to be something done more none at the federal level. I have no idea what the fuck that means. And the momentum keeps building on the potential Senate run. I keep getting phone calls from people, he expressed. He said the success of the film has barred him from ever working as an operator again because his face is now recognizable by traffickers and bad actors, so becoming a senator could be a good next step. The ex-agent who inspired the renowned film Sound of Freedom has become the leading voice for anti-trafficking efforts across the world. And funny that all of a sudden now his own organization's been infiltrated so that he gets kicked out. That doesn't sound at all familiar, does it? Anyone checked on Mr. O'Keefe lately? As for the continued success of the Sound of Freedom film, Ballard told Daily Mail in an exclusive interview this week that he is still shocked by it. But he's grateful for the success that's, because it's now getting audiences with Latin American leaders who are helping to enact change. And it's forcing a conversation that I think the American people have wanted to have, but didn't know how to start it. Ballard said the film wasn't intended to make a statement about border policy, but it came out just when it was most needed. He said the success of the film has barred him from ever working as an agent. Oh, going over it again. Ballard was on Capitol Hill this week to meet with lawmakers and testify about child sex trafficking. So there you go. 3D printed salmon tastes like the real thing? Supermarket shoppers in one country are about to find out. All the fish that's fit to print. The world's first 3D printed vegan salmon. Oh, okay, you lured me in with the fact that it's going to taste like salmon. You said that it's 3D printed, and now you said that it's vegan. If it's not actually fish muscle that's been 3D printed, stop calling it salmon. It's a salmon alternative. The PDF files are not happy with Ballard. Nope. The world's first 3D printed vegan salmon is currently swimming off the shelves in an Austrian supermarket, and its creator has high hopes for the futuristic fillets. With the milestone of industrial scale 3D food printing, we've entered a creative food revolution, an era where food is being crafted according to customer needs, said Robin Simsa, CEO of Vienna Foods. We're not just creating a vegan alternative, we're shaping the future of food itself. The 100% vegan protein-packed fish alternative is comprised of fungi as well as omega-3. Fuck off. All 9 essential amino acids, vitamins A, B2, B3, B6, B12, and D2. According to Revo, it also contains no sugar, gluten, or cholesterol. If it's made out of fungi, it ain't going in my mouth. I don't do mushrooms, let alone anything else. No, what else? Who else was Austrian? Revo worked with fellow food startup Mycorrhina to create a type of mycoprotein, a protein that comes from a fungus specifically made to be 3D printed. The protein is already sold out on its website, where it retails for about $7.5. $7.50. I don't know why I said it. Something's burning at the back of my throat. I don't know what it is. Give me a second. Okay, think I'm okay. Whoa, shit, there is 102 of you watching. People on YouTube, smack that like button if you haven't already. Show YouTube that you do care and that I am worth watching. Must have been a fishy lady and fell in love with the taste. Oh, we didn't need that, Deez. Come on. In response to a comment asking when the food would be available stateside, a representative for the brand replied, hopefully soon, stay tuned. It looks like cat food. And it's made out of fungus. I'm not putting it anywhere near my mouth. Revo brands itself as a seafood company that saves fish. Stating that more than 18,000 fish have been protected since production began. According to the website, the vegan version produces 77 to 86% less CO2 than regular salmon, and they use 95% less fresh water. Meanwhile, the Israeli firm Stakeholder Foods created its first ever 3D bioprinting grouper ever. Hang on. I need to read that sentence again. Israeli firm Stakeholder Foods created the first ever 3D bioprinter grouper earlier this year. Are they talking grouper as in the fish, or as in it's a type of 3D printer? The grouper, which was created in partnership with Umami Meats, is ready to cook upon printing and will not harm the environment. So it's... Okay, so the 3D printed fish. Umami Meat CEO has told Southwest News Service, Stakeholder Foods uses cells from fish and other animals to grow meat and protect animals. Okay, so at least that's actually meat protein from the animals. It's just reproduced. Oh, my words are not working. Wow, he's awake. Well done. Yeah, I think I'm fading, if I'm perfectly honest. Grouper versus Salmon, sophisticated. Also, earlier this year, the US Department of Agriculture gave 2 different makers, Upside Foods and Good Meat, permission to sell cell-cultivated meat that doesn't come from animals that have been killed. So they're taking slices off the animal while they're still alive? Surely that's cruelty. This was just months after the FDA deemed cell culture lab-made chicken safe to eat. Unlike Revo's food, which contains no animal products, lab meat is made from cells that come from living animals, a fertilized cell, or a bank of stored cells known as bioreactors. It's weird. I'm actually better, like, I'm more comfortable with the idea of bioreactors and them growing the additional flesh for me to consume than I am putting a fucking fungus in my mouth. The cells they use are cancer cells because they grow fast. Ugh. Anything claiming not to harm the environment is lying. Yep. Very true. Very, very true. All right, hang on. Let me... Got that. Got that. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to get Clinton today anyway. We might as well do this too. Inside the secret $54 trillion company that owns America, dubbed the real Illuminati. Just when you thought that BlackRock and other individuals were the problem, wait till you hear about this. Conspiracy theorists are convinced New York-based financial institution Seed & Company, consisting of 12 directors and 6 employees, owns all of the wealth in the US. If you like a good conspiracy theory, then you'll love the ones surrounding the tiny organization that owns all of the wealth in the US of A. From trading places to Wall Street, Hollywood has long been fascinated with multi-billion-dollar secret sleazy dealings. But despite their worth, New York-based financial institution Seed & Company has largely kept a relatively low profile with 12 directors and no more than half a dozen employees. However, despite its diminutive size, the powerful organization, according to some reports, holds as much as $54 trillion in assets. Keep it tight, and that way you can keep the money. The staggering figure has been reached because the firm actually owns 83% of all issued stocks in the United States. Technically, private investors don't own the stock that they think they own, but rather have contractual rights that are part of a complex chain of rights ending up at Seed & Company. A complex system of interlocking bodies such as the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, the National Securities Clearing Corporation, and Fixed Income Clearing Corporation oversee all stock trading in the US. They all come under the umbrella of Seed. The multi-trillion-dollar secrets work like this. The Depository Trust Company is a private bank for securities. Every other financial organization in the US, bankers and brokerage houses, are obliged to secure membership with the Depository Trust Company. Like the Federal Reserve, the DTC is a private company entrusted with national responsibility. It processes all stock and paper securities for every US bank and brokerage house. That's a bad photo. Seed technically owns nearly all of the public issued stocks in the United States, so private investors don't actually own the stocks they think they own. Instead, they have contractual rights that are part of a complex chain of rights ending at Seed & Company. It sounds dry and academic, but it impacts every American, and as long as the USA remains the preeminent economic power on Earth, it affects the rest of us too. The Depository Trust Company absolutely controls every paper asset transaction in America, and they physically hold the majority of stock and bond certificates in their name. Very few people hold genuine stock ownership certificates. Most trust their brokers to do that for them, and many Americans who, unlike Brits, depend on private finance for all their retirement and health needs, are concerned that these precious stocks could at any moment vanish overnight to service the country's staggering national debt. Your mycophobia is not rational. Mushrooms come in a multitude of flavors, shapes, and textures. They're nutritious and healthy. I don't care. The mushrooms that I have tasted have been disgusting, and I'm not a fan of the texture. This article is mostly copied from the Wikipedia article. Wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation is notoriously public shy, but the DTC's Jim McNeff spoke to finance journalist Anthony Wayne, explaining to Wayne how infallible the DTC's governance of the US stock market was. He said the DTC first controlled test was on Black Monday. There were 535 million transactions on Monday and 400 million transactions on Tuesday, he said. The DTC cleared every transaction without a single glitch. Wayne's conclusion from the interview was that Black Monday, a colossal financial downturn that ruined many Americans, was a controlled test. That it was deliberately manipulated disaster for the benefit of the DTC. That has never been proven, though. Meanwhile, the internet has drawn its own conclusions to the power the company wields. One Reddit user, here we go, we're dredging up the bottom of the barrel, headed over to Reddit. I was going to say Rumble then. Sorry, Rumble. Thank you to the 31 of you watching over on Rumble. We belong to Seed. I can't believe we found the holy grail of the conspiracy world. These guys are the owners of it all. There's probably a version of Seed & Co. for every country, and it's run by the same people. We can chop off their biggest limb right now. Another said the important question is who owns Seed. Pretty crazy how it's called Seed, because it's exactly what we did. Seed control of the stock market to this company. While the fourth said, this is the real Illuminati, if one really exists. So there you go. I mean, look, to a certain extent, it makes a certain amount of sense that a single company is the one that has to deal with and prioritize and organize all the individual physical share certificates. But I'm not sure that I like the fact that there's only like 6 employees and they control $54 trillion worth of assets. That's funny. So when we're located, so where are they located for when shit hits the fan and everyone needs a target? I don't know. I don't know how it works in the US. I mean, I can easily do a company search here and find the physical address of any company in the country, but I have no idea how it works in America. Okay. Buffalo Bills fan found naked, covered in human waste after falling down a hole by Highmark Stadium. An unidentified football fan who was naked and covered in human excrement was discovered in a construction site hole near the Buffalo Bills home opener on Sunday. The extent of his injuries was a cut on his forehead, according to WBEN. Bills Mafia is well regarded as one of the greatest American sports fan bases. They're rowdy, unpredictable, passionate, and yet humble enough to keep out of other fan bases' doghouses. Whether it's jumping onto tables, going shirtless in the dead of winter, or shoveling players' driveways so they can get to the airport, Buffalo Bills fans have always found ways to one-up everyone else in America. That said, there are still some less than savory stories. There's an entire thread that's a roller coaster. I'm just glad I was tall enough to join the Erie Sheriff's Department on that ride. Wait, what? Oh, okay, that's them talking about the guy that was found in the hole. So how did he fall in the hole? According to the thread, the unnamed fan is a 29-year-old male who jumped over a fence by the stadium and into a construction site on the west side of the stadium. He fell 30 to 40 feet and only sustained a cut on his forehead. But wait, there's more! The fan was naked and covered in human excrement he had found in an on-site porta potty. Ew! As you can probably assume, he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol, a combination of LSD, cocaine, and marijuana. Once the rescue team arrived on scene, it took approximately 20 minutes to get him out of the hole and to the medical center, where he was treated for a short time before being transferred to Buffalo General. There was no mention of how long the man was trapped in the hole, although the thread does state that the first call concerning the man came in at about 12:18 p.m. local time. Ew. Ew. All right. Now, thousands of minks are on the loose in Northumberland County. If in case anyone was wondering why there's a mink in the thumbnail, I just thought it was cute. Animal experts are warning people in Northumberland County after thousands of minks were released from a fur farm. According to state police, in the early hours of Sunday morning, someone broke into the fur farm along Route 890 in the Rockefeller Township, south of Sunbury. Whoever broke in cut holes in the fencing and opened up all the cages. Approximately 7,000 escaped from the facility. Now, how that many got outside the fenced area, we don't know, but it was a sizable number from that estimation. Thousands of mink are now roaming around the section of Northumberland County. All mink released were bred in captivity and may be different to those found in the wild. The mink that escaped are going to be a couple of different colours. You're going to see them in white, black, and brown. Most of the wild mink are going to be brown and tannish. Workman said they had some advice as to what you should do if you see one. Just stay away from it. Don't touch it. Don't trap it. And don't try and catch it. They will bite you and they can potentially hurt you. We want to make sure that the public is safe. These mink could also pose a threat to other animals. Nearby Sunbury Animal Hospital talked about wanting to keep your pets safe. Don't leave your pets out unattended. Take your dogs out on a leash. The mink might not be big enough to go after a big dog, but that doesn't mean they can't get injured by one. I would suspect cats, kittens especially, could be at risk. Any animals you keep outdoors could be at risk. People with koi ponds, with backyard poultry, rabbits outside should talk to the Game Commission or check the internet for ways to discourage a mink from getting in those areas. Along Route 890, Newswatch 16 saw more than a dozen along the roads that have been hit and killed by cars. The mink farm is now working to trap the mink that have escaped. How much do you want to bet there was a fucking Peter? First it was the prisoners, now the minks. Get it together. Okay. Okay. An exonerated man is suing detectives after 21 years in prison. In Kalamazoo, Michigan, Jeff Titus, who served more than 21 years in prison for a wrongful conviction on a double murder, is suing a pair of cold case detectives for $100 million. The federal lawsuit was filed on Tuesday, just weeks after the state of Michigan paid him $1 million for each out of its wrongful incarceration fund. The lawsuit, filed by attorney Wolf Mueller, is against retired cold case detectives Michael Wakima and Mike Brown. Brown and Wakima have both been told at Target 8 that they still believe that Titus is the killer. A jury in 2002 convicted Titus of the 1990 murders of hunters Doug S. and Jim Bennett in Kalamazoo County without hearing anything about an alternative suspect, serial killer Thomas Dillon, who was later identified by 2 witnesses. Dillon died in prison. That was the reason the Attorney General worked with the University of Michigan's Innocence Clinic to set him free. A Target 8 investigation in 2017 also revealed the cold case detectives who investigated the deaths ignored alibi witnesses that put Titus miles away at the times of the murder. In a press release, Titus's attorney said that Wakima and Brown failed to tell the prosecutor about the possible Dillon connection. A woman and her son had picked Dillon up out of a lineup as a man whose car was stuck in a ditch at the time of the murders and not far away. Jeff Titus is suing the 2 cold case detectives for intentionally hiding evidence that could have shown that Thomas Dillon, who had been picked out of a lineup by 2 witnesses and pled guilty to killing 5 outdoorsmen by shooting them with a long gun, was the most likely suspect in the murders, given the lack of any substantial evidence against Titus. An acquittal would have been the more likely outcome. I think he's going to have a rough time taking that one to court, but I wish him the best. I mean, if he legitimately did not commit the murders and he actually has alibis that place him miles from the scene, then yeah, good luck with that. West Michigan, Great Museum, the Air Zoo, fun day. Air Zoo? Okay. Sue for their execution in public, just a few bad cops, myth busted. Where are we? Oh yeah, this one was weird as hell. A Kansas City mother is suing Hyundai after being shot by car thieves. Yeah, she gets robbed and carjacked, and she's blaming the car company. A Kansas City mother who was shot in the chest while yelling at thieves who were trying to steal her car is blaming the automaker. I looked back at my son and husband. This is it. This is the last time I'm going to see them, she said. In a video seen only on Fox 4, the moments right after the bullet landed in her lung. Lawton said that if the company had cared enough to have fixed the problem, she wouldn't have nearly died. What problem? I mean, it was scary, it was unreal. This all happened on April 29 of this year. Lawton woke up at around 3:30 a.m. to fix her baby boy a bottle. When she got downstairs, she heard a noise and saw a man with a ski mask in her driveway. I opened my window and told him to get away from my car, and he walked back to his. That's when the criminal starts shooting at her. I've been shot. I just remember keep saying that I've been shot. So she's inside, someone's walking over to steal her Hyundai, and because he walks away and fires a weapon at her, she thinks she can blame the car maker. Okay. 5 months later, the bullet is still in her chest, and bullet holes are still on the vinyl around her windows. Now, she and her attorney, Bobby Thompson, have filed a lawsuit against Hyundai, saying that if the cars were not prone to being stolen because of a defect, Lawson wouldn't have almost died. Oh, fuck right off. Hyundai did not respond directly to our questions about this lawsuit, but did send Fox 4 a statement outlining the many changes the company has made to newer cars, plus steps it's taken to offer consumers options to protect older cars. In part, he said Hyundai Motors America is committed to ensuring the quality and integrity of the products. Instead of recalling the cars and installing the engine immobilizer, they're just throwing a band-aid over the problem. Yeah, her car's easy to steal, and as a result of that, she's saying that she should be able to sue them for it. I remember thinking I'm going to miss out on his moments, on him growing up and without a mum. I can't imagine that, she said about her son. Way to try and tug on the emotional heartstrings. Thankfully, she doesn't, and for his first birthday next month, she is taking 1-year-old KJ to the zoo and the new aquarium. Who gives a shit? That's irrelevant. I'm just putting it out there. I can't see the fucking lawsuit. There's the statement. Kansas City filed similar claims in federal court against Hyundai and Kia in June. Oh, no shit. Well, there you go. Thieves have stolen more than 11,700 cars. The numbers have been through July, with 40% of them being Kias or Hyundais. That's funny. I think it probably was a slow news day that day, if I'm perfectly honest. Because we, on the other hand, are going to talk about Tash Peterson, because she's back in the news again, just because we can. The vegan activist that we were talking about yesterday, the guy that's suing her for defamation, well, apparently she posted a racy picture to Instagram, because that's what you do when you have an OnlyFans and you're pimping yourself out there as someone that only eats protein when it comes from a man. She apparently has destroyed, or at least removed, all of her social media as well. I'm curious as to why, whether or not she got hacked or whatever else, but I'm also curious as to whether or not they just showed the bikini photo. Let's have a look. Tash Peterson, infamous bikini-clad vegan activist, disappears from Instagram after posting racy photo. Australian vegan activist Tash Peterson has mysteriously been booted off of Instagram. The Perth-based star's account, Vegan Booty, disappeared from all social media sites on Monday with her 22,000... She only had 22,000 followers. Look, I know I can't talk because I'm only just about to cross like 2,500 over on Twitter, which reminds me, people, if you're not already, go and like me on Twitter. But she made such a bigger deal about being a social media influencer that she had freaking 22,000 followers. That's hilarious. When directed to her account on Instagram's website, the page error reads, "Sorry, this page isn't available." The vegan OnlyFans star appears to still be active on other social media apps. However, she recently posted to X and Facebook. She's been traveling with her boyfriend Jack Higgs in Norway and recently posted a photo of them gazing at the Northern Lights. Northern Lights, an animal abuse-free wood fire pizza on a veganic permaculture farm. Oh, for fuck's sake. Girl, have a fucking hamburger and grow a brain. Her last racy photo shared on X was on September 11, when she stood in a hot tub wearing a skimpy G-string bikini and flashed her backside for the camera. She made headlines a few months ago when she issued a 12-month ban from entering. When she was issued with a 12-month ban from entering any venues that serve alcohol after becoming involved in an ugly exchange with Chef John Mountain in Perth. Okay, what does that say? Stop murdering whales. Okay, so she's over there purely to be a pain in the ass to the people in Scandinavia. She later released shocking footage of her burning a police notice banning her from all pubs and restaurants in Western Australia. John had banned vegans from his restaurant, prompting Tash to stage protests outside his venue. She disturbed her diners by playing loud audio of squealing pigs while shouting about the animal apocalypse. "I don't comply to this anymore. I don't accept this serving notice," the models and vegan protester said before burning the piece of paper. Go for it, bitch! Set foot inside a alcohol-serving venue and watch how quickly you wind up in cuffs. And not in a way that you're likely to entertain. Yep, that was them in the middle of Melbourne. In doing so, Tash not only rejected the police order originally issued by Joondalup Police, she challenged the authority of the WA's court system. I'll continue to go into restaurants and places with liquor licenses if they're profiting and serving animal abuse, torture, enslavement, and murder. No one can stop me from bringing to light the largest Holocaust in history where trillions of non-human people are brutally murdered simply for human pleasure. Oh shit, no, I want bacon. Oh, they actually have the video this time around. About time. In the clip in which she posted to her social media channel, she claimed the notice was a complete misuse of the law. The notice is designed for disorderly, drunken, or violent people, not animal rights activists. Disorderly. It's right there in the title. You are disorderly. Mid at best, less than mid. Alright, where's the video?
The sounds you hear now are pigs screaming for their lives inside carbon dioxide gas chambers. Animals feel pain. Animals want to live.
Oh, I'm gonna get copyright claim for the audio on this. Fuck. Oh well. Poor guy just trying to run a business. And it's not like people are just there trying to eat. And they gotta put up with that kind of bullshit. They're using it in an attempt to silence me and stop me from bringing to light the animal holocaust in many venues. John is now suing Tash for defamation, claiming she trashed his business online and harassed his diners during angry protests. Countless social media posts combined with in-person demonstrations inside his restaurant have left him with no other option, he said to a current affair last week. I constantly get daily death threats and terrible emails, and it's just too much. John's lived in Australia for 7 years after moving from Britain, where he was a celebrity chef who shared an agent with kitchen superstar Jamie Oliver. Oh, well, good on him. But yeah, that was more just... See, I told you. Hot chicks, well, mid chicks, wearing Ugg boots. It's a thing here. We got the gist? Yeah. In pictures, not totally fugly, then she opens her mouth. Mm-hmm. Not going to bring that one up, amateur iconoclast, but that's basically what she's doing, yeah. And people are not happy. People are pissed off. Rightly so. Alright. A New Jersey Revolutionary War site could get covered with artificial turf as controversial plans move forward. Oh. Never mind. When I read this earlier, it wasn't behind a paywall, presumably because I was reading it on my mobile. I hate when that happens. Okay. Man in golf cart pulls gun on DoorDash couple in Helena, assaults husband, and gets stabbed by the wife. A road rage incident led to a gun being pulled and someone being stabbed in Helena Sunday evening, according to police. The ordeal began at about 6:30 p.m. when Helena police and fire medics learned of a man with several stab wounds walking into fire station number 3 on South Shades Crest Road. That man had been stabbed 3 times in his right arm and was taken to Helena fire paramedics to UAB Hospital. About the same time, said Helena Police Chief Brad Flynn, officers were dispatched to South Shades Crest Road at the entrance of Laurel Lake subdivision on a report of a road rage incident that resulted in someone being stabbed. Flynn said the couple delivering for DoorDash called 911 to report they'd been involved in a road rage incident for several miles in Jefferson County. They had a young child in the car with them. The couple told police a vehicle pulled up close to the rear of their vehicle while traveling on Highway 52. As they turned onto South Shades Crest Road, the vehicle continued to drive in an aggressive manner. Both vehicles turned onto the Longleaf Lake subdivision where the aggressive driver, a woman, then pulled up next to the couple and began screaming profanities and accusing them of not using their turn signal. That woman's husband then showed up at the location on a golf cart. At that point, his wife, the aggressive driver, pulled a handgun and pointed it at the DoorDash couple. Please be a Karen. Please be a Karen. Please be a Karen. Her husband then took the gun from his wife and pointed it at the couple while screaming profanities at them, police said. The couple immediately put their vehicle in reverse in an attempt to get away from the man with the gun, but their vehicle had developed an engine problem and would not go any faster than a few miles per hour. And they were delivering DoorDash? All I'm saying is don't pay for the priority delivery. The confrontation continued up the hill on Longleaf Lakes Drive. Back to the South Shades Crest Road, since the couple were unable to drive any faster. Just north of the fire station, the man approached the couple's vehicle, reaching into the rear window and began assaulting the driver. He hit the man several times in the head and shoulders and ripped off his shirt. The driver's wife then pulled out a pocket knife and stabbed the attacker several times to get him to stop attacking her husband. After being stabbed, the attacker walked away to the fire station to seek medical help. The couple continued driving north on South Shades Crest Road and called 911 once they reached Laurel Lake subdivision entrance. Flint said detectives have completed their investigation and will present their findings to Bessemer Cutoff Jefferson County District Attorney's Office for review for criminal charges. That one's going to be interesting. In fact, I'm going to bookmark that and save it for later. Save that under other bookmarks so I can follow up on it. People do weird-ass shit. Had a lot of jiggly parts for vegans. Deaf a Karen and a man Karen. Was OJ there on vacation? I mean, looking for real killers? Oh. Alright. Oh shit, I didn't mean to close that one. Alright, where are we? The man known as Sugar Bear, who killed and chopped up women and stuffed their severed head, hands, and feet into a deep freezer, has pled guilty, according to the feds. A man known as Sugar Bear and Daddy, who allegedly killed a woman and dismembered her body before stuffing her head, hands, and feet into a freezer in his New York City apartment, has pled guilty to murder and sex trafficking 8 women, the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Eastern District in New York said. Samari Moses, 47, faces 15 years in prison. What? Oh, to life. 15 years to life in prison. He's accused of murdering one of his sex trafficking victims, Leandra Foster, on January 13, 2017. He used a saw and a knife to dismember her body inside their shared Brooklyn apartment, according to prosecutors. 4 days later, he stuffed her head, feet, and limbs into a deep freezer in the apartment and disposed of her torso and limbs at a Bronx sanitation site, prosecutors said. One of the feet had his name tattooed on it. With Friday's guilty plea and every count of the indictment, he is held responsible for preying on women and girls, forcing them to become prostitutes and then brutally murdering and dismembering one of his many victims. Excuse me. Said United States Attorney Breon Peace in a statement. While the defendant's total admission of guilt cannot undo the terrible harm that he's caused, we hope that it will bring a measure of closure to his victims who suffered the defendant's extreme cruelty and brutality and the family of Miss Foster. Since at least 2003, Moses forced women and girls into prostitution by using brutal beatings, rape, torture, and threats. We're far enough in that I can say that. The prosecutor said his promise of love and marriage to the women before demanding they work as prostitutes and forcing them to give them the money that they earned. He's also demanded that women tattoo his first name onto their bodies. I'm really hoping he didn't take a bite. Yeah, Dwayne, I did. I didn't think much of it, honestly. I mean, you see the occasional, like, stupid thing done, but I'm pretty sure that was just done for the notoriety. When one of the victims refused his demands, he used a taser on her until she complied. He slashed the arms and feet of another victim with a razor. Oh, fuck! Beat her with a belt and poured lemon juice on her wounds, leaving her permanently scarred, according to prosecutors. He put a shotgun in the mouth of a third victim and threatened to pull the trigger when she said she didn't want to be a prostitute anymore. Moses exploited vulnerable women and robbed them of their freedom and dignity for his own personal gain, even brutally robbing one woman of her life, said James Smith, assistant director in charge of the FBI's New York field office. The prosecution is the first to use the federal statute criminalizing murder in the course of sex trafficking. At a previous state-level criminal trial, Moses testified that he earned the money as a pimp for about 2 decades. He admitted that he smacked Foster around and gave her many black eyes, the federal prosecutor noted. During his previous New York State criminal case, Moses admitted to chopping up her remains but claimed that he didn't kill her. A jury convicted him of criminally negligent homicide and concealing a corpse, but acquitted him of murder at the state level. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison. State records say that Moses was imprisoned at least twice before. He was locked up in New York's Wyoming Correctional Facility in Attica between May 2, 2007, and December 4, 2009 for attempting to promote prostitution. He was also jailed at the Gouverneur Correctional Facility between 2012 and 2016 in northern New York State for criminal possession of a weapon, although the convictions occurred in Kings County, which includes Brooklyn, according to prison records. What the fuck? Put him in the jail with that serial killer. Sounds like marriage. Jesus Christ, Ginger. Yes, a lot of stuff does happen in New York. Where are we? All right, I'm going to finish off on this one. Florida man sets fire to the car belonging to his ex-girlfriend, who also happens to be his cousin. A man from South Florida has been arrested for allegedly setting fire to a car that belonged to his ex-girlfriend, who also happens to be his cousin, according to Miami-Dade police. Melvin Citron was charged with second-degree arson and third-degree grand theft on Wednesday for the incident that happened back in April. Here's a timeline of how it happened. They misspelled Alabama. Man pours gasoline on car before setting it on fire. Shortly before midnight on April 29, a home's Ring doorbell camera captured an unknown man pouring what appeared to be gasoline on the car before igniting it. Yeah, he looks like someone that's stable. On April 30, officials were called to the 500 block of Northwest 120th Street in Miami, where the fire was extinguished. Police found a white four-door Jaguar heavily damaged by fire upon arrival. The inside of the car sustained heavy damage and the roof was completely burned off, police said. It may have just been a convertible. The trunk was also detached from the car, never mind, and there was a strong odor of what police believed was gasoline. The Ring camera video shows a man who was unidentifiable at the time parking the Jaguar, pouring something inside of it and on top of it, and igniting the car on fire, police said. The car was immediately consumed by fire and rapidly became engulfed in flames. The man then ran southbound on the street. Fire officials determined that the fire was intentional. No shit, Sherlock! Police informed the vehicle research unit of the partial VIN number and grabbed from the burned car's engine. Police determined that the Jaguar was not reported stolen and is registered to the victim. The registered owner of the car had an emergency contact listed for Clinton Citron, who lives a block away from where the car was set on fire. They also determined that it was a relative of the victim. Citron's driver's license photo matched the description of the man in the Ring camera. On September 11, police made contact with the victim after months of trying to report to the the arrest report said. She said she didn't have an opportunity to report the incident or contact police because she'd been living in fear of him. The victim said that he was her familial cousin and that the two were in a dating relationship and lived together until September 8. She then told police about what happened on April 28th. She and he got into an argument. He left their house. She went to sleep thinking that he left in his own car, but then realized he'd taken her Jaguar. He arrived at home and told her that he'd burned the car near his other residence. She said that she provided a false statement to investigators at the time, saying her car had caught fire while she was driving home because Citron was with her and made her put her phone on speaker anytime she spoke to investigators. She added that, I'm starting to think this is a bad set of facts, honestly. He regularly carries an unknown make or model of a fully automatic firearm with a double-drum high-capacity magazine, the police report says. The victim positively confirmed that the man in the vehicle setting fire to a car was her ex-boyfriend and cousin. An arrest warrant was issued. On September 13, he was arrested in the car, and his car was found in the 3600 block of Northwest 74th Street, and he was detained and taken into custody without incident. He was transported to Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, where he remains on a $5,000 bond. He's scheduled to appear in court on October 13. Dude's name is Citron. Okay. Is the whole family inbred? I don't know. I mean, looks it. Just saying. Oh my god, people, do not date family members. All you're doing is polluting the gene pool and potentially having recessive things come to the forefront. Jesus Christ. Oh, holy crap. Alright, but anyway, guys, I'm going to end it there and I'm going to get out of here. Let me check whether or not there's anyone to shunt you across to. Just give me 2 seconds. I really should have thought of this earlier. Oh, look at that. My new video is a 1 out of 10. Apparently that's good. Oh, thank you to the new subs. I'm also up on that. I've got to stop looking at the... I've got to stop looking at the damn analytics. Live. Oktoberfest under attack. Customization. Is anyone live? I was about to say, is anyone alive? But, alright, looks like we're heading over to Law Talk with Mike, so have some fun, raise some hell, let him know that I sent you across. And as always, people, please remember, you are not a piece of shit. You definitely have value, and you definitely contribute to society, especially for being here, for sharing the likes, for sharing the subs, and feel free to share out on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever else. It's a jag. But as always, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. And I will catch you on the flip side. Remember, more than likely no show tomorrow unless I'm able to pre-record one. Hoping to be on Jeff's stream tonight. But yeah, I'll see you all soon. Cheers, guys.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.